for anyone who's new here. I'm Nancy.
I'm Joe.
And we have...
I'm a spastic. She's not.
Right. We have a 31-year-old son named Craig. He's in our full-length videos and in some of our shorter ones and in our shorts. Craig has autism. He was diagnosed between the ages of 2 and 3. He's verbal, very verbal now. He started to talk, probably around the time he was 3. He started talking. He said some words before that, but not to communicate.
Yeah, he hit some of his talking milestones just right on the money. You know, he
said dada.
Dada, 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 dada.
Yeah, I've showed a video of that before. And he counted and he said he sang Jingle Bells. I did find that in a Christmas letter that I wrote. So he did talk some before he was 3, but it wasn't for communication. And he didn't respond to commands at all. Just a little introduction in case you're new here. Yes, we have a cat that's being a pest. And her name's Midge. There she goes again. Okay. Midge. Today, I've been trying to think of ways to get Craig involved in things like craft projects and just things that you do around the holidays too. This week, he's been asking me over and over, when are we going to carve the pumpkin? And every year we carve a pumpkin. In the past years, I have done some elaborate pumpkins, more like pumpkin decorating. I've done the pumpkin patterns.
In other years, it looks like I carved it.
Yeah, the past few years, the carving has not been fancy. And this year, Craig's really wanted to do it. In the past years, I haven't really involved Craig in the carving. He's told me what he wanted me to carve or make, but he's never been involved in the actual process, never shown any interest. This year, I decided to try and change that somewhat. So I got the pumpkin and I cut out the top and I loosened all the seeds and the guts inside, and then I had Craig come in. Yeah, I had Craig come in and scoop those out, which he was able to do with the spoon. I was imagining him doing it with his hands, but I didn't know how that would go because Craig does not like his hands to be messy.
I didn't think he could do that.
And who likes that feeling anyway? You like it?
No.
So he used the spoon and he was able to get pretty much all of it out with the spoon, which you'll see in the video. And then my thought process was that I was going to ask Craig, okay, what shape should I draw the eyes? And then I would draw them. But I asked Craig, what shape do you want the eyes to be? And he said triangles. And he took the permanent marker and actually eventually drew the whole face the way that he wanted it. And then I cut it out. And so in that sense, Craig got to be a part of carving the pumpkin. Wow. And it was really fun. I think
Raccoon's on the deck. And the raccoon alarms went off.
Yeah, that's our raccoon alarms. So I think sometimes I don't give Craig credit for what he can do. And today definitely showed me, he actually was more willing to do more things than I would have thought that he would be willing to do.
Well, if it hits 2 lists, then Craig's a lot more apt to do it. If it's something he can do, but more importantly, is it something he wants to do?
Right.
And he wanted that pumpkin.
He did want the pumpkin.
He wanted that pumpkin and he wanted it done.
So I need to find a way to get him more involved in the Christmas decorating, because that's another thing he pushes about. Like, he wants the decorating done. And we did have a tree in his room last year and will this year, and he did help more with that than...
Yeah, well, didn't we just leave a bunch of ornaments on his bed?
I think I did. So he did.
He put all those on.
Yeah.
You put the lights and stuff
and the
on
ones that we have some ornaments that like talk, and some we've had for many years, and they have to be hooked up. So I did that part. But yeah, he did a lot of that himself. And when it comes time to decorate for Christmas in not too many weeks, probably a couple of weeks, you'll be seeing that too. But I thought,
and if you don't see me for a couple of weeks in there, it'll be because I threw my back out hauling down 70 totes out of the top of the garage.
I would say he's exaggerating. There's not really 70 though, but there's a lot. So I just wanted to share that because that was kind of an adaptive way that I found that Craig could help. And possibly I could have done that several years ago and he would have been able to. I just really didn't get the thought into my mind. You know, I wasn't determined enough. Many years I feel like I'm just so busy when it comes time to carve that pumpkin. I just want to get it done. But this year I took more time and got Craig involved. And please watch that video because I think it's a fun one. We had some fun conversations while carving the pumpkin. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, autism related, was something popped into my head this week. When Craig was, I think it started in middle school, I think. He would come home with these papers called News to You. And it's news, the number 2, you. And it's like all one word. And what it was, or is, you can still subscribe to it. I found some schools post their past years on the internet, and I printed some of those out to show you. But it's $249 a year, and you get I think it's a weekly newsletter.
Once a week?
I think it's once a week. I'd have to go back to the site and check it out. Or you can look it up too if you'd like to. But it's you get a lot. So this is what it looks like. I printed it in the wrong form. It should be like this, I think. But this is how it printed out. And every week there is a news story. It's like a current event, something that's going on in the world. This one happened to be the Glass City River Wall that was being done in Toledo, Ohio. It was, and it breaks the story down into pictures. And it says, artists are painting a mural in Toledo, Ohio. The mural is named the Glass City River Wall. A mural is a picture painted onto a surface. The surface may be a wall, a ceiling, a building, and more, it says. The river wall mural includes pictures of sunflowers. It includes pictures of Native American women, too. Artists plan to finish the river wall mural soon.
You could always take a few pictures of those.
Yeah, so you can see it better. Artists are painting the river wall mural onto silos. Silos are towers that store grain. The river wall will be the biggest mural in the United States. And that's all. Then the next page, because it has the pages numbered, so the next page in the sequence is a simple recipe for them to make, which this one is pretty much like Rice Krispie Treats, only you use Fruit Loops. And it has all the steps to make the recipe, which I think is really great, because then they can look at the steps and perform them if they're able to, or you can assist them. And it tells everything step by step, right down to step 7 where they eat it.
You know, something like that would be nice because you could incorporate your child at lots of different levels with
Yes.
this. It could be as simple as, you know, if you've got the stuff laid out on your counter and make it look as much like this as you can. Like if it says butter, have a stick of butter. Don't have a tub of butter, to where they can match them up, and that's their part of it. Down to where they know how to match it up, then they know to put the ingredient in the bowl each time.
And I like how everything has a picture. So for those who are less verbal or have less communication skills, they can do picture matching, which is where they started with Craig. And then the next page is a knock-knock joke. Knock, knock, who's there? I don't get this one, though. It says, grain who? Grain is my favorite paint. Oh, green. Now I just got it. It's my favorite paint color.
Grain is my favorite paint color.
There's a picture. And then the next one is, I have a joke. Tell me, where do sunflowers sleep? I don't know where. in flower beds. And then the next one, they asked questions about the story. And it asked which of these pictures were included in the story about the city river wall. Then it asked questions. What was the paper about? The Glass City river wall. Who was painting the mural, the artists, and where are they painting the mural? And there's pictures of each of those items. And then it asks, what would you paint a picture of? So another activity that they could do. And these are the words they're learning about: artists and paint, which, I mean, I think that's great. That whole thing, that's a great activity. And I plan to do these with Craig. He's saying he doesn't want to, but I think he'll be okay once we start doing it, because since I found these resources, the reason I remember this so much is Craig loved it. He would come home talking about the presidential election or other events that were going on. I can't specifically think of one right now, but he would come home talking about current events, and that was really impressive to me and gave us some things we could talk about. He wanted to tell us about that. And a couple of years later, they stopped doing News to You, and I requested that they start it up again. So they did, because I felt like Craig really connected with that. So when that popped into my head today, I wanted to be sure and share it with you. And then also you get worksheets. There are lots and lots of worksheets. And there is coloring. I saw dot to dots and mazes, vocabulary words. There's just endless amounts. This site that I found where they posted some from previous years, there is so much on there. And I will find out more details about if you wanted to subscribe, but I know it was $249 for a year. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you that I feel like was very helpful to Craig growing up. Especially once he got to middle school, where, you know, his communication skills were much better. I even saw there's a science, well, he was looking through these with me because he was definitely interested in them. But there was a little science project you could do with colors, where you put different colored water into cups, and then you take paper towels and you fold them over. You roll it up and fold them over so they're in each cup. And then it's to show how the water can travel to each cup. And I think that will be a fun experiment to do with Craig, and an easy one too. Sometimes,
and you can guess what the color is going to be.
Yeah.
Because the colors, when they go in between cups, they're going to come up and meet. And then that meeting area will be a different color.
I think that particular experiment could be so good with, I mean, I think Libby would love that too. And although she already knows her colors, great. You could also work with learning colors, what two colors make a certain color. There's just a lot of fun things you could do with that experiment. And now we wanted to answer some viewer questions just for fun.
First, I have a question for you. What's the difference between a well-dressed man on a bicycle and a well-dressed man on a unicycle? Attire.
Okay.
Now, to give you that's a dad joke and a half right there. I've got a site. Just got these guys just sitting on a dock, just telling dad jokes, one after another. Super popular, and it's called Dock Talk. And
Is that on TikTok?
It probably is, but I see it on Reels. Is that what YouTube is?
Is it talk as in T-O-K?
No, T-O-K, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so TikTok, Dock Talk.
Dock Talk. You got to look it up. Guys, you're going to love it. You're going to quote them. Women, you're just going to roll your eyes at these things because they're...
Women and children, you're going to roll your eyes. Okay. So the first question is, what is your favorite Adam Sandler movie? And mine is easy. Hands down, Wedding Singer. That is one of my very favorite movies. I could watch that movie over and over. I especially like that song he sings to her on the plane. I want to grow old with you.
What did I say mine was?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, duh.
This wasn't as easy for Joe
Yeah.
as it was for me.
Well, I like a few of the Adam Sandler movies. I don't like the Adam Sandler movies like Waterboy, where he
Yep.
like changes his voice
Or
and almost sounds
Little
like
Nicky.
he has a lisp or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's kind of
Seems
like he's making fun.
it's
to
offensive.
me.
To me, it comes off a little bit offensive, and
Me
I don't
too.
like the movies were funny, but it's just grates you wrong.
Well, you
on
don't
some
have
things
to
like that.
make fun of people to be funny.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like.
And he proved that in Happy Gilmore because
yeah.
there
Well-
was nothing funnier in there than when him and Bob Barker got into that big fight and Bob Barker kicked his butt. That was
I
hilarious.
think I saw that. Big Daddy, he was good in that.
Oh yeah, and there was really heart tugging scenes in that and everything, and that was a good movie. But yeah, Happy Gilmore for sure.
And then also they wanted to know what's our favorite Chris Farley movie. The only Chris Farley movie I've ever seen is Tommy Boy. I need to watch it again because it's been so long ago. I know it was funny, but I can't remember much else.
Tommy Boy, 100%. For me, the main reason for that is the deer scene. When they hit that deer and they think it's dead and they throw it in the back of the car and it wakes up and all of a sudden
I
they're,
kind of do
they're just
remember
kind of
that.
talking and all of a sudden here comes that deer head up and they look at it and they go, ah, and the deer, ah, and then the deer decides just literally rips the car to shreds.
It also said Chris Farley was in Wayne's World, and neither one of us could remember Chris Farley in Wayne's World. So if you know who he was, shed some light on that for us. So that's all the...
When I was younger, I wore my hair a lot longer and just kind of parted in the middle and everything.
When you mean younger, like how young? Because you didn't wear it like that when... Or do you...
Oh yeah, for 20s and in the 20s and 30s.
Okay, you don't mean real long though.
Oh,
you
well,
mean like maybe it like flipped
yeah,
out like down
yeah,
here, but it wasn't
but
like
it-
long.
Yeah, but it usually
you
my
couldn't
ears
have had
were
a ponytail.
my ears were covered and everything, and
Yeah.
no, I couldn't have had a ponytail.
Okay.
Right. I had different people tell me that I look like Wayne from Wayne's World.
You loved that movie too.
Yeah.
You always were quoting that movie.
Yeah. I thought
Okay,
that, I
just
thought
do
of that
it.
as a compliment.
Just do it.
I'm not going to do it.
I used to do it all the time. Well, that's all the questions that we had for that. Someone did ask, what did we do with Craig while we went to church? Or how did we handle church with Craig? That's what they asked. We didn't take Craig, honestly. Once, I mean, when he was real little, we did, but well, I take that back. We did. At first, Craig, for several years, stayed with Joe's parents while we went to church. And Craig loved that. He loved his time at Grandma and Grandpa's, and Grandpa would take him out and do things with him. But then Joe's mom died. And I think that's when they stopped taking care of him. Was that it?
No,
I think they did before that. Or did you?
Dad took care of him all by himself for quite a while. And that's when he actually started doing the trips.
Oh, okay.
That was after Mom had passed away.
Okay. I'm just lost on the timeline. Yeah. But anyway, eventually, he couldn't do it anymore. So we started taking Craig with us. And then Stephanie or Bennett would go downstairs with probably Stephanie, and then Bennett, as Bennett got older, would go downstairs at church with Craig. And they had a TV with the VCR down there, I think, or a DVD player. I don't remember which at this time. And he would watch Veggie Tales down there. So Craig was learning about God. I mean, in a different way than we were upstairs sitting there listening to a sermon or whatever. Craig was at least getting some foundations of religion by watching Veggie Tales, because back at that time it was all I don't like the word religion, but it was all Christianity based. That's what I'll say.
Very structured.
Yeah. And also they loved the songs. My kids loved Veggie Tales. So that's how we handled church.
Yeah, and Craig got, older. He could actually stay down there by himself a little bit too.
Yeah,
And
he
then we
might
just
come upstairs.
Yeah,
if
and
he
then
has
we
to.
always sat in the back of the church to where we could hear him. Craig's a big-footed kid. He's always been a big-footed kid. And you just hear clunk, 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 clunk up there, and I just get out of my chair and I'd meet him in the foyer to find out what he needed.
Eventually, our friend Galen came and stayed with Craig on Sunday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered that too. Because honestly, if Craig went, he didn't get anything out of it. And then we couldn't get anything out of it because we were worried about Craig. So that's just what worked out best for us. I think everybody comes up with their own solution. That's what worked for us. And sometimes there's been people in the church that have volunteered, to stay downstairs with Craig, or maybe with your child, or maybe you could get a family member, a friend to come with you and stay with them. But that's how we handled it. And that's all I can think of for questions. If you have any questions, like to know anything, let us know. I'm not saying we'll answer any question, but we'll share the fun stuff. If it's not too personal, we'll probably answer it. This week we have some stuff. Tomorrow, Craig and I are going to go to Machine Shed. No, we already went there. Tomorrow, Craig and I are going to Outback Steakhouse because we still have a gift card that someone sent to us. And we're going to go to Sam's Club, which we haven't been to in a very long time.
We belong to Sam's Club?
We don't, but you don't have to belong. Like, I have our membership card, so they don't look at that when you go in the door. You can just flash it. Sometimes there's not even anyone there looking at it. But when you if you decide to buy something, when you go to check out, then you have to pay a membership. So at least, you don't have to pay for it until you see, is there anything here that I really want? At one time, I think I went to Sam's Club every week. We did keto one time, and I went there a lot then. There was a lot of things that we got there that, we couldn't get in Knoxville for sure. I don't know about Des Moines. I'll have to see what they have there. It's been a while. Years ago, we used to go to Sam's Club a lot because of computer games. We used to buy a lot of computer games for our kids, and
they were always like $20 cheaper than like Best Buy.
And that was before Amazon. So, Best
They'd
Buy.
They'd have a grouping of like 3 games, and we'd want 2 of the 3, and it was still cheaper than buying them singly at like Best Buy or
my kids
Target
like Little Monster at school, and
the Mercer Meyer books.
And Putt Putt Saves the Zoo.
You'd click on it, and then different stuff would happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our kids love those games, and they were good learning tools too. But that's our plans for Monday. Of course, we have to volunteer this week, or we're going to be volunteering this week. We don't have to.
And tomorrow we just have.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's Sunday.
Kids coming over.
Yeah, the kids will be. No, tomorrow Craig and I are going to Seussical with Stephanie and Libby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost forgot. I'm surprised. Craig's been so excited about that. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. And then we'll see what happens the rest of the week. So anyway, we better say goodbye now so this doesn't get too long.
Sorry, I was chowing down the whole time. That snack mix is really good.
This is an Aldi commercial, even though
you're showing it.
I was.
No, you're not. It's right here.
Okay. This is,
it is on this
an Aldi's commercial. Not really. We are not supported by Aldi.
Yeah, if you live in Des Moines, you that South Side Aldi, you better get there soon because
Joe wants me to buy all there is.
Yeah, we're gonna buy at least 6 more cans of those. That'll get us through the winter. They'd be awful tasty, when we're sitting out on the deck watching the snow fall.
This is what we stock up on. What do you stock up on? Anyway, we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace.